Hey there, Heather. Hello, there's Jeff Cutter. I'm welcoming you to quarterfinals. Sorry, round of 16 action in the Canadian Championships of Title Belt Boxing. We have Razor Ruddick, the heavyweight, against the middleweight Lou Brouillard in the first of our 8 matches. We go from 3 rounds to 6 rounds, so it's going to be a 6-round matchup now. Hank Durham and Manny Simon, the Battle of the Trainers. We're from the Halifax, Joe Humphreys, your announcer. Amy Carroll, your ring card girl, the legend. Luca Montella, Frank Adams, and Mike England, your judges. Paul Norman, your ringside expert. So yeah, we go to 6 rounds this time. Razor Ruddick from Jamaica, and then went to Western Ontario, which is near Toronto. 6'3" and 224 pounds, 37-5-1. Of course, I'm going to redo the introductions because if you missed the round 32 yesterday, then you can get round 16. So this is what he's known for the IBC heavyweight belt. Fought Mike Tyson and looked pretty good. One of the best punchers of all time. He beat Fernando Gagnon in Halifax for the trip to this round by majority decision. Lou Brouillard from St. Eugene, Quebec, and then went to Worcester to box over in Massachusetts, 5'7", 159. 109 wins, 29 losses, 3 ties. A world welterweight champion. He fought in a Canada Day card in Montreal against Robert Kalu and won. He beats Clyde Gray Guelph in Montreal by split decision. Here we go.
Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Votes are in, and here, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner.
And they've called it a technical draw. So, well, that's weird. So now they got to redo the fight. And Razor Ruddick beats Brouillard by unanimous decision. So, big win for Ruddick. And his rematch. Our second matchup is Robert Cleroux, the heavyweight 1-1, against the lightweight Dave Castillo. Mark Brulin and Nick Florio, your trainers. We're at the Fairmount Royal York, a hotel. Michael Pass, your announcer. Holly Kishier, your ring card girl. Alfred Asaro, Art Schellberger, and Ruben Garcia, your judges. Don Cost, your ringside expert. Cleroux, known as Bob, born and raised in Montreal, and then, he was born and raised in the U.S. and then in Massachusetts, then went to Quebec to Montreal. 6'2" and 220 pounds. Canadian heavyweight champion. He fought a Canada Day card last year, losing to Brouillard, who then who has just lost the Razor Reddick, but he won by decision over George O. Chocolate Godfrey in Edmonton. Dave Castellou from Gas Bay going to Maine later on, 5'6", 135. 106 wins, 24 losses, 9 ties. A couple Canadian titles. In Winnipeg, he decision George Dixon. So both these guys have beat a guy with chocolate as their nickname.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ladies and gentlemen, we have your decision.
And this is the first non-decision fight. Claude by knockout. So he'll move on, and I believe it's Razor. Yeah. So Claude will face Razor Ruddick in the quarterfinals. Yeah, 6 punches thrown, 6 on Castellou. That's funny. Our third match is Larry Gates, the heavyweight. I think alternate history 100 on YouTube. One of Larry Gates. He faces the heavyweight Kirk Johnson. So this could be an interesting matchup of heavyweight. From the Fairmount Road, York, Joe Humphreys will be your announcer. Larissa Budanaya, your Rika girl. Bunaya. Steve Weisfeld, Kenny Gray, and Richard Flaherty, your judges. Tom Transel, your ringside expert. Larry Gates from Toronto, 6'1", 210 pounds for this fight. 114 wins, 23 losses, 5 ties. Beat Max Schmeling and Primo Carrera. I can kind of guess why alternate history wanted him to be there. He won a split decision over Albert Belanger, which was close. Then he takes on Kirk Johnson from North Preston, Nova Scotia. Bubba, as they call him. 6'2", 240 pounds. 36-1, the WBO Intercontinental Champion. He was part of the Olympics in 1992 in Barcelona for Canada, and actually tried at the world title, but got DQ'd with John Louise. And a majority decision, he beat Herman Naganju in Montreal.
Judges' votes are in, and here, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner.
Of taking care of business in the R16. Steve Weisfeld says Kirk wins 58-56. Katie Gray says 58-57 for Larry. Let's see what Judge 3 says. Flaherty scores about 58-56 for Johnson. Nope, I'm wrong. Split decision, Larry Gaines. He's gained himself a spot in the Canadian quarterfinals. Close match. Kurt Johnson did suffer a cut, so I think that's why Gaines had it. That shows the scorecards and all that. Overall, I think Gaines would have won. Handily, yeah. 2-1. Match 4 is Sean O'Sullivan, the welterweight, and Olympic boxer against the light heavyweight Jean Pascal. So the winner of this one will face Gaines. Chuck Bodak, the cutman for Pascal. From Royal York, Jeff Connor, your announcer. Amy Carroll, your main card girl. Victor Caccone, Franco Cribielli, and Steve Waldman, your judges. Tom Tronso, your ringside expert. John O'Sullivan, the Cabbage Town Kid, as they call him, from T. 149. 23-5. Silver medal for Canada at the 84 Olympics in Los Angeles. In Montreal, he beat Matthew Hilton by decision, all unanimous decision. Jean Pascal from Laval, Quebec, by way of Haiti, 5'11" and 172 pounds. Biography: 27-2-1. Some great light heavyweight belts. Was part of the Olympics. Last July, he faced Sammy Lustspring and lost, and then he split decision Donnie Lalonde. So that's a big win for him. Ready to play.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Ladies and gentlemen, we have your decision.
Starting this one to get to the quarterfinals. Official decision. Victor Caccone scores about 57-55 for Jean Pascal. Okay, we got something official going on. Steve Waldman scores about 50. even. So if it's for O'Sullivan or even, we have to get a rematch. Franco Carmelli says 57-55 for Pascal. That's what I thought. John Pascal. He beats Sean O'Sullivan and moves on to the quarterfinals. Yeah, that is weird. Sean O'Sullivan had Sean Pascal on the ropes in the first round, but Pascal survived. Yeah, Sean O'Sullivan had a chance to knock down Sean Pascal right off the bat, but he failed. 10-7. Practically, that was the only round he won. Pascal used the last 5 rounds to his advantage. Walbin gave O'Sullivan the 6th round. I know. Next will be Sam Langford, the odds-on favorite, the light heavyweight against the lightweight Armand Savoy. So Savoy, I forget who Savoy beat, but yeah, Langford might have an easy draw to the quarterfinals. We'll see. Yvonne Michel, the trainer for Savoy, Emmanuel Stewart for Langford. We're at the Montreal Casino. Jimmy Lennon will be your announcer. Dominica Wrestling, your ring card girl. Dave Moretti, Eric Davis, and Arturo Villegas, your judges. Mark Jones, your ringside expert. Sam, the Boston Tar Baby Langford with the win, 1883 to 1956. From Canada, but well, he went to Cambridge, Massachusetts to fight for America, even though he is Canadian. 5'6" and 200 pounds. 200 pounds. 203, 46, and 52. Many belts, including the French version of the World Heavyweight title and the colored heavyweight title. Boxing Hall of Fame 1990. He TKO'd Jimmy McLaren last Canada Day, and then he beat Mysterious Bill Smith by unanimous decision. And then Armand Savoy from Montreal, born in 1928, 134 pounds. 57, 40, and 6. But his big match was a decision over Trevor Burbick. So it would have been nice to see Burbick versus Langford. But not to be.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Ladies and gentlemen, we have your decision.
Did Sam Langford pull one out of the hat again? Tim Moretti scores about 59-54, so it's going to be a unanimous decision for somebody. Harry Davis, 59-54. And Arturo Frederick is 59-54. For the winner, the Boston Tar Baby, Sam Langford, does his job over Savoy. And make sure that the pretender to the throne, as they call him, couldn't win. Langford KO'd him. Next up, we have Carl Tremaine, the bantamweight, against the light heavyweight Tommy Burns. So this is big. This is actually also big because Tremaine and Burns is kind of a local fight. I'll explain. And the winner faces Langford. So we could see Langford Burns in the quarterfinals. Unreal. Nice job by Tommy Burns to get his thing. They're at Club Soda. Club Soda. Joe Antonisi, your announcer. Eileen Podolsky, the ring girl. Nelson Vasquez, Chuck Hussett, and Bill Page, your judges. Mark Samoji, your ring sign expert. Carl Tremaine from Listowel, Ontario. Doing his job. 1899-1936. He went to Cleveland, 5'3" and 120 pounds for this fight. 73, 24, and 9. His fight in Winnipeg was a decision over Charlie Belanger. Tommy Burns, the Little Giant of Hanover, which is close to one of the regions. So basically, these guys are in a local match. He went to Detroit later on, 5'7", 175. 43, 5, and 9. And world heavyweight champion, the smallest of the heavyweight champs, 5'7", but in a lot of boxing Hall of Fames. He lost the match on Canada Day last year to George Chavallo, and then he decisioned Joaquim Alcine, the pretender to the crown.
Judges' votes are in, and here, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner.
Nelson Vasquez scores at 57-57. Uh-oh. That's big. Hassett scores at 58-56 for Burns. If it's for Tremaine or a tie, we gotta go to a rematch. Bill Page scores at no, it's a tie. Tommy Burns had one judge, but you needed two. Majority draw. Not much to talk about. Scorecards. Yeah, Burns had it. Like every round was different. Yeah. Patron Vasquez did the same. But Hazzard gave Burns 6 rounds. It would have been 3 ties in a row. So they have to rematch. That's the rule. And in the rematch, Carl Tremaine wins over Tommy Burns. So the rematch, Tremaine moves on to the quarterfinals against Langford. Unreal. I thought Tommy Burns had this one. I was so sure Burns had this one, but he doesn't. Well, that's a massive upset. Next up is George Chavallo, the heavyweight against the featherweight Leo Waugh. So Chavallo might have a good matchup here. But don't say that because Tremaine took down Burns. Matty Seaman and Lance Blackmore training. The Bell Center in Montreal. Jake Gutierrez, your announcer. Nikki Sano, your ring card girl. David Mendoza, Omar Minton, and Juan Manuel Garcia Reyes. Say that 5 times fast. Judging, and Mark Elwood being your ringside expert. Chavallo, the Toronto Tank, as they call him, one of the greatest, if not the greatest Canadian boxer of all time. 6 foot, 220 pounds for this fight. 73, 18, and 2, fighting against drugs. Yeah, he fought against drugs because many of his kids, a couple of his kids died by drink. And also, let's not forget about the fact that Chavallo Ali twice were massive fights. Personal history: he TKO Tommy Burns on Canada Day last year, and then he decisioned Al Ford in Edmonton. Leo Waugh, Kid Waugh, as they call him, from Low. He was born in Low, then moved to Montreal, 5'5" and 127, winning a couple of Canadian titles. And last time in Montreal, he decisioned Arturo Gatti, which was a massive shock because I would have loved to see Gatti versus Chavallo, but it's not happening.
Judges' votes are in, and here, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner.
That last round. Was that enough? David Mendoza says it's 59-56. Okay. So it's winning unanimously. Minton 60-55 from May Kung. And one Manuel Garcia, 59.56 for George Chavallo. So Chavallo does win. Nice job by him. He beats Leo Waugh. Leo had a cut on this injury. So yeah, Waugh can win scorecards. See here. Chavallo basically took everything except the kitchen sink. Next up, we have Eric Lucas, the super middleweight, against the welterweight Jimmy McLaren. See what happens here. I think this will be Chavallo's match. Lou Duva for the McLaren. Also, the arena in Montreal. Jimmy Lennon and Jennifer Sales doing your job. Manuel Rodriguez, Hector Hernandez, and Reg Thompson, your judges. Danny Callahan, your ring expert. Eric Lucas, Lucky Lucas, they come from Montreal by way of Magog, Quebec. 6 feet and 163. 39, 8, and 3. Super middleweight champion at one time. He beat Semi Lovespring by decision last time in Casinorama and McLaren. Legendary babyface from Ireland went to Vancouver, 5'6", 133. 55, 11, 3, the world welterweight champion. Lost the Canada thing last year to St. Langford, but then decision Sid Vanderpool in front of a lot of Kitchener fans. But
judges' votes are in, and here, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner.
Rodriguez is 60-54. I think we got blowout here. Hernandez 59-55. And Reg Thompson 60-54. For the winner, Jimmy McLaren. But Jimmy McLaren does his job. There. Yeah, Lucas was badly outscored. Hernandez gave Lucas the third round. And that's it. That will be the end because Racer Reddick will start off our quarterfinals coverage. So, yeah, great times by all. We'll have the quarterfinals for you tomorrow. And I believe it is an 8 round. Is it 10? Yeah. Now it goes from 6 to 10 rounds. So now it'll be a bit longer and more endurance based. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.